Hello, Miss Brown. I wanted to go over your project, and I'm noticing a couple of things that I think you'll need to correct on your journal entries as well as your T accounts and trial balance. I want to first look at your journal entries. I think I had gone over these before, but I do want to make certain that you correct them because by correcting them, you would assure yourself full credit when the final project is submitted. So let's go down to these entries. They look okay up until you get to this point here, the telephone expense. It is not a note payable at all. It is a payable to your vendor. So it's like a vendor transaction. And there's no dollar amounts here. The telephone expense is $45, so you should put a dollar amount here. And this amount, the credit should not be note payable. Remember, a note is something like a long-term obligation to pay something. It's not an ongoing operational type of activity. That's the first thing. Secondly, this one here, this entry looks like it's in reverse. You obviously you understand the accounts that are involved, but you're increasing the wrong account. You shouldn't be increasing your cash because you actually wrote a check for this insurance for the whole year. So that's another entry that you really need to fix. Not only do you fix it on here, but you also need to make certain that the T account is properly reflected. Now, going back to July, everything else looks okay from what I could tell. So if you could fix those, it would be very helpful and be very good for your grade in the end. I'm looking at the transactions in your August. We look fine, except here, you're going back to the same thing. You're paying $45 for your telephone bill. Or in this case, on the 31st, you're actually incurring the expense. So you get the invoice and then you pay it later type of thing. So you have to set up a payable and an expense on this particular transaction. It's very important to fix that. And again, just want to go over these because once they're fixed, then you're good to go. And then if you transfer the information over to the T accounts, you'll be accurate with the ending balance. Here, it's another issue of putting the transaction in the wrong category. Again, you're paying for something, you need to reduce your cash, not increase it. And in here, accounts payable is good, but it shouldn't be debited. I mean, it shouldn't be credited, it should be debited to get rid of that. So that's another little area that I think you should correct. And I'm scrolling down and I'm not seeing much problems, but there are a couple that I think you need to take note of and make the changes. Now, when I look at your accounts, this account here is a little bit too high. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's off by over $10,000. I thought maybe there's something here that shouldn't be. I would suggest you go back through some of these transactions because it looks to me that that's an overstatement of your cash. And I think it has to do with right here. This is my personal opinion. Because the thing is, what you're trying to do is you're trying to show a number of things. One, you're showing the amount of cash you received. And I don't know if you received actually 20,000 in this transaction. I think you receive a difference of the receivable, which is the 6,000, and the actual bakery sale. So the sale should be the total amount, in this case 20,000. The receivable is the difference between the cash you received. So to me, this should be bakery sales. This should be your cash. And this should be your AR. That's my opinion on that. I'm going to look also at your other transactions. These look great. In fact, they look really good. So something happened in September. And I truly believe that that's the reason why your cash is overstated. So if you give me if you let me know if you have any problems finding what the issue is, but I can tell you this number here is about 10,000, a 9,000 or so, a little too high. So check your revenue transactions and see if that's the reason, or maybe something's duplicated. I'm going to go down a little further and look at your bakery supplies. That looks good. The various accounts look pretty decent. I think cash is the major one that I've noticed. Now, if I switch over to your trial balance, again, your cash is overstated. I'm looking at the other accounts and they look going straight down. Okay, I just have a problem here. And I think it's the same issue that you have with the cash. In September, you have your bakery sales understated. So if you fix that, this should automatically be fixed as well. So that's numbers understated. That number is overstated. And I think that the relationship is clear. And if you fix one, you'll be fixing the other. The other area, let me see if I can find it, that I'm going to be concerned about. Yeah, that's truly what your problem is. I truly think if once you fix these two accounts, you should be fine. Now let's go to your adjusting entries. Now I'm going to ignore what's here because I'm going to ignore that because once you fix what's on here, you can transfer the information. I'm going to tell you right here is you're using simple interest. And what you're going to do is take the principal amount, multiply times the interest rate, times the time. Now we're talking July, August, and September, 3 months out of 12. That should be your calculation. So revisit these numbers here. That doesn't look correct, looks overstated. And again, in this case here, now I'm going to highlight only the amounts. The debit and the credit accounts are great. This is exactly what the accounts should be. The only thing is only 2 months have lapsed, not 12. So what you need to do is take 2/12 times the $2,400, and that should be your adjustment. Now, again, these accounts look perfect. The problem is the dollar amount, so we're going to fix those. Remember, if you have 1,100 left, you need to subtract what you recorded already, equals your adjustment. And the same is true here. If you have $50 left, you need to subtract what you recorded already to equal your adjustment. And what did you record already? Well, let's find out. If you go to your trial balance, you recorded $18,500 already. And for your supplies, let's see if I can find, you recorded $600 already. So that should be $50 minus $600, give you your adjustment. $1,100 minus the $18,500 that you recorded, that should be your adjustment. So that's the biggest problem here. So once you fix these, just transfer the corrected amounts in the appropriate columns in your adjusting entry and you should be fine. Overall, it looks very, very good. But these little things I just want to bring to your attention so that you can get the most credit and hopefully get 100% on your project. If you have any questions, by all means, give me a call or send me an email and I'll walk you through dissecting what's happening in your cash and in your revenue. And I hope you have a great day.